first thing is to get educated. Spend some time.
Yeah, read a book.
And you know what?
Read several.
Well, Rod, when you and I first started, we read everything
Let
we
me
get
say
our
this too,
heads on.
since we just said that.
Uh-huh.
Definitely read Robert Kiyosaki's books. We tapped into Robert 30 years ago, him and Kim, and would really follow closely. Read all of his books. Went to seminars, did a lot of different things, but it gave us really good foundational stuff that today it's still there. It's embedded. And I don't want to cut you off, but you do have to read. You have to, so even if you do this craze of what we know everybody likes to do now, just listen to a podcast and listen to YouTube and go on the internet. That's great because we didn't have that when we were learning.
I would read.
So it is great,
and I would seek the assistance or the mentorship
mentor.
of someone who'd done it before. And there weren't many people out there when we were new in real estate investing, so we had to read everything we could get our hands on. We did
Sheets and Robert and some other people.
So I would say read everything you can get your hands on just to get that knowledge and that foundational information. And it's a numbers thing, right? And I think that's the other thing people are afraid of. They're like, am I going to lose my money? Right. So there's simple formulas that you can learn that are super simple. This is just fifth grade math stuff, right? For example, right, if you find a house that needs renovating and you're like, it needs a lot of work. I don't know if I'm paying too much for it. I don't know if it's how much to rent it for. I don't know how much I'm going to make. Am I going to lose my money? And I think that's people's biggest fear. So there's very simple formulas that you can follow that will guide you and tell you, I'm going to make money on this deal.
Right. You do the numbers.
Just by the math alone. Just by the simple numbers. For example, and I'm just going to throw this formula out. It's a simple formula. We call it an ARV, which is an after repair value. If you find a house that needs work, you pull out your little formula that Rod and Jen taught you, and you say, I'm going to look at what the value of this property would be once it's all fixed up. And that's easy to find. That's just looking at comparables in the area. Look for a fixed up house in the area. How much did it sell for? Boom. That's my ARV, after repair value. I multiply that by 70%. This is called the 70% rule. Multiply that by 70%. And then you're going to subtract the repairs that would need to be done. Now, you may not know the repairs. You're like, I don't know nothing about repairs, but there are people that do. Yeah. There's contractors everywhere that can walk the property with you and say, I think it's going to need this much in repairs based on what you said you want done to the house. There's your formula. After repair value times 70%, subtract your repairs. That's the maximum amount you should pay for that property. That gives you a little more comfort, right, to say, the numbers work.
Do the math.
Once the numbers work, you feel more confident.
And the math for what you decide is a safe place, because this is something else that we do in our strategy sessions when we deal with someone specifically, because people have different needs. You have people that their kids are going to be going to college in 5 years. You have people that they're empty nesters, all their kids are gone, and now they can take all the money that they were spending, for taking care of this huge family, and they start doing more for themselves. What are we going to do now so that when we want to travel around the world, but we still want a certain amount of income? So there's just different levels, different people in different places. But when you know what it is you're looking for, and you kind of set your parameters, you can use the formula and say, well, if I purchased any property, I would at least want to make $300 a month, or it might be $500 that you're comfortable with. Some people, for other reasons, might need more tax shelter. So they might say, hey, if I only make $200, I'm good because I got depreciation, I got tax advantages, and overall, I really need it, and I'm still in the positive. So we don't say it has to be a certain amount. We listen to who's the individual we're trying to help, because there's different circumstances. We have a couple now that we've been working with for a while, and when we met them, they're in that exact scenario. Their kids are grown. They're both retired, actually, even, but now work and do other work or have another. So they're still bringing in income and getting retirement money and potentially Social Security. I don't know if they are now, but they told us what they were paying in taxes, and almost choked. I was like, you pay what? That's just not our story. We've been at this so long. We're like, no, before that happens, we're going to go do this. It's a different strategy.
Yeah.
And so when they came, we were like, just that alone, we we're like, you need to do something immediately.
Yeah.
Okay, because what you're giving away so much money. You know, why would you want to give Uncle Sam 40 grand a year of your heart? 40 grand is what they said. 40 grand they pay in taxes.
You know, and I think
that was just you know, there was a deduction happening automatically already. You paid 40 more at the end of the year because
a lot of money.
Enough didn't come out, you know, or you didn't put enough in. So, and I think, in my opinion, that right there alone, you know, that should make you say, I'm going to educate myself immediately to how this is not going to continue to happen.
You just brought up something else, Rod, that I think will take away a lot of fear and anxiety from people when you said that it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing about real estate. It's so flexible. Like one person's need might be, hey, if I could just make an extra $500 a month, I would be so much better off.
Yeah, that would
Somebody else might,
that would get me over the hump.
that would just get me over the hump.
A little bit extra cash.
Yeah, you know, the other person might say, you know, I have a kid that's going to be going to college. I don't know how I'm going to come up with this money. That's another strategy.
Yep.
Somebody else might say, you know what, I'm going all in, man. I want to make millions in real estate.
Or I want to replace my income with
I want to replace my income.
working income, my W-2 income with passive income.
Exactly.
I want to make it so that if I'm making $100 grand a year, I want my passive income to be $100 grand a year. I'm not going to change my lifestyle. That would then replace that, and then I can go do what I want to do.
Somebody else might say,
I want to save the whales. I want to paint pictures up on a mountain in some foreign country. Whatever it is, whatever God called you to do, or whatever you decide you want to do.
Yeah.
You have now a strategy to replace what you need to take care of yourself.
Or somebody else might say, you know what, I got these children or these grandchildren that I want to leave something for them.
Yeah.
Real estate is a generational wealth builder is what I want to say. You can build generational wealth from real estate. You can build wealth, period, from real estate investing. Or you can just say, I'm just going to get this one extra house and it's going to change my life. Yeah. So we can help you tailor a strategy based on what your need is. And it's so different. And I think that's what brings a lot of anxiety and angst and tension to people, because they're like, I don't know which strategy. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. And here again, it's just a lack of education.